Okay, y'all, now that I've gotten this harvest, now I need to clean it up, put it in some of these pans. I'm gonna wash it up before I take it in the house, so that's less dirt that's going in the house. So let's deal with this celery first. All the celery I got. All the celery I got. I hope I got everything. Y'all know I'll be okay. Here's the glasses. So let's take out these peppers. The peppers are good. My cayenne peppers are good. So we good on this. I'll put those in the basket because they're small. And I got some pans that I use. Like one is going to be the cabbage and carrots, and the other one is going to be the celery because I have like too much celery. So let's get the celery cleaned up. And I got a few onions in here. I'm not going to use a lot of this celery because like I told you guys before, I have so much celery. So basically, I'm just going to take the celery. You can dehydrate the leaves as well or freeze the leaves and use it. All of it adds flavor to your dishes and is edible. So you don't have to get rid of the leaves. You can actually keep the leaves. So I think what I'm going to do with this celery is I'm going to chop it up. I'm just going to clean it up, chop it up, clean it up out here and chop it up in the house and dehydrate it. So we just want to get the celery out of the way, all of the celery that I plan to keep, because it's just bits and pieces and it's like a lot to deal with. And I got a doctor's appointment later. So I'm trying to do all of this now so when I come back, I don't have to do anything. So we got the celery out of the way. I'm going to keep this little head, this flower head of the onion that broke off, and see if they still dry, if they are viable. So we're going to keep this. So I'm going to put this probably in a greenhouse and put a mesh bag over it. That's what I'm going to do with that. And these are some dried onions. I can actually dry the onion tops, the leaves, with the celery. That's what I'm going to do. Where are my scissors? Okay. So that's what we'll do. We're going to also clean up the onion tops and dehydrate those with the celery. These little onions that didn't get any sun, they weren't going to do anything because they had already flopped over. So I knew I wasn't going to get anything from the onions. No, they're not going to get any bigger than this. So let's just take off the tops, clean them up, and dehydrate them with the celery. That can also be a seasoning mix for your dishes. Another small onions. I have yet to get large onions. I've gotten like decent sized onions, but I haven't got large onions. So I'm still working on my onion game, y'all. Still working on it. And I'm just going to do that. Still working on it. I haven't quite mastered growing onions as of yet. I think next year what I'm going to try doing outside of these onion sets, what I'm going to try to do is let them get more mature before I put them out in spring. Because you start growing them like in January and indoors. And then you bring them out like around spring. Throw a little frost cloth over, but they can take the frost. But I don't want to put them out in like, the dead of winter. So you put them out early spring because they can take the cool weather. Like again, we got a few pole beans. We'll put that in there. And all of this stuff, I'm not going to add any water to. I'm just going to brush off the beans, the onions, and the peppers. I'm not adding any water to those because, again, we want to preserve them as much as possible. And the minute you add water, it is starting to go into decline, which means they can go bad quickly once you add that water to them. I pulled up all the carrots. I thought about demonstrating to you guys how to pull carrots, but it's really simple. Instead of just yanking them up, just push down to break the roots from the carrot, which is actually a root. But you're breaking the root stems away that's under the soil, away from the carrot before you pull it up. So you'll hear like whoop, like pop, 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 because it's breaking away from the roots. And then you can easily pull it up. That way when you're pulling, but some of your bigger carrots, the top just don't break off and you're still trying to get the carrot out. So just push down first, then pull up. and now it'll release a lot easier. So I pulled the rest of the carrots because I think I'm going to put a zucchini in that barrel. I'm going to put a zucchini in that barrel. So here they are. And again, I am not going to introduce any moisture to these carrots because I want them to preserve. All I do is, brush off as much dirt as possible. I'll probably clean them up more, like they're all in here, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to introduce any moisture to these carrots. So I'm just getting rid of the long stem roots. I don't have my gloves on, but sometimes you can't do everything with your gloves. And so they're just going to go in. A lot of these are going to be baby carrots because, again, I did not thin. So because I didn't thin, they all grew together and didn't have enough space to really get as big as they could. But at the same time, you guys can also start more carrots at the same time. Now, if I wanted to, I could put some more carrots in there. And this time I could go a little thinner and maybe I will thin them out. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I don't know if I'm going to put a squash in there or carrots. Like, I have to think about it. Like, how many carrots do we really eat? I think we eat more squash than we eat carrots. So I think I've made my decision already. What y'all think? So yeah, you guys are not going to watch me do all of this. I just want to give you the gist of what I'm doing and what to do, how to do it, how to preserve. Now, if you did want to clean these up and wash them up, you could freeze them, chop them down real good, freeze them, and only bring them out when you need them. But I might want to use some of these fresh, so that's another reason why I don't want to add any soil to it. And then if you can, like, if you start more carrots and all your green leafy vegetables, like I'm in zone 6, I might start mine the end of this month in July. My leafy greens and things of that nature, because they can take the cold weather. It's like you get more nutrients from your veggies and fruit when you just pick it and then eat it. Like, you do lose some of the nutrients after you've harvested and you don't use it right away. You're going to lose some nutrients, but some is better than nothing. And right now I can't I'm not going to even chop up this name of this little virus that's going around, this digestive virus that's going around with the bacteria that's on the fruits and vegetables, a lot of the berries and lettuces. Michigan has the highest rate, and so Chicago has a couple of cases as well. I think 30-something cases right now. And it made me think, like, see, I'm glad I'm growing my own berries and lettuce and things of that nature in my garden, where I could still get some nutrients without having to go to the store and worry about, had I washed this enough? Have I cooked this long enough to kill the bacteria, which also kills the nutrients? So let that be an incentive for you to grow something, even if it's just leafy greens in spring and late summer, or berries, raspberries, blueberries come back. They're perennial. So you can put a blueberry bush in your backyard. You can put some strawberries in your backyard. They tend to create runners to create new plants. So at least at some part of the year, you can have some fresh fruit and berries that you know where they came from and don't have to worry about the bacteria. And then you can even freeze those things and put them in smoothies and things of that nature later. So, maybe that could be an incentive to also help you guys understand the importance of growing your own food. I know it's not everybody's jam. Everybody doesn't want to do it, but maybe you could find a family member or a friend who wouldn't mind gardening in your yard if they don't have a garden, and just share the harvest with you, because they are using your space. That's a thought. So just something to think about. Okay, I'm not going to finish these carrots on camera, but I am going to show you guys the celery right quick. So I wanted to mention that because, that's just like what's going on right now, right? It's always something going on. So now we have these cabbages. Drag over here. I didn't want to get too much dirt over here because, this is like a little seating area. I'll do it right here. I'll do it with carrots because I don't want to get too much dirt over here. But anyway, like I said, these cabbages did not fully develop. And that's fine because, like I said, I would normally come in and use the leaves, the big leaves anyway, like I did last year. Whatever didn't develop fully, any good looking leaves I kept and put in my collards. It's gonna be a couple of bugs on here, y'all. I already see them. Now this is the smaller one that really didn't get a chance to do much of nothing. Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to use this because as I peel all the way down, I'm seeing too many holes. We ain't using that one. Anyway, that was a tiny one anyway. Here is another. Let's cut this one. Again, we don't want all the dirt over here. So, yeah. We're going to get rid of these little ugly leaves and keep the good ones. So, we're going to, well, definitely going to make sure ain't no worms, right? I covered that side better than the other one I had harvested previously in other videos. If you haven't seen it already, well, I harvested my broccoli and cauliflower. Yeah, this one is a little tattered. Yep, you can still use these leaves, y'all. What you think our ancestors and folks did back in the day, especially in the South? They used everything. It wasn't about waste. They did not waste. Okay, this one's, they're getting bigger as I go, which means I have more success rate of actually being able to use some of these leaves. Again, most of the outer ones I won't be able to use. Again, that is fine. Let's clean them up real good, y'all. That's all. It ain't gonna hurt you. Now, I did discover something because that being my first, me having my first broccoli harvest. I had cleaned up a broccoli, you know, cut it down, chopped it up, did all the things, and froze it, right? Mixed the cauliflower and the broccoli together in 2 separate bags. So I did that. And yesterday I roasted some, ooh, this is gonna be too thick. I need my hurry. I roasted some broccoli and cauliflower from that batch, but they were frozen, right? So I said, well, let me run some cold water in the bag to break up, you know, some of the ice that's around it. So I did that, had, you know, let it sit for a while and put it in a bowl, you know, that I was going to use to hold it until I was ready to get it all dressed up to go in the oven. Do you know? 3 little tiny worms floated to the top of that bowl. And here I am thinking, I cleaned this real good. But them worms said, no, you didn't. They was frozen, though. They were dead. But it just goes to show you, like, when you are growing things and you're cleaning things. We had an issue like this at an event. There was a worm in the salad, and I was like, oh, my God. And here I am cleaning broccoli, thinking I cleaned it, and learned that those little worms can be in between the florets. So that was the first thing that I learned in growing my first broccoli, that the worms can be sitting in between those little florets. So, and I had soaked it the first time too. So I was really like, oh my God, like, I'm so glad, you know, I ran the water on it again. So it's just food for thought, literally. If you're growing something like cauliflower or broccoli or something like that, that, you know, insects can live in between those little florets. And so rinse again, you know, rinse. And even when you put it in the freezer and take it out, soak it again. Because maybe the salt water and baking soda, everything that you use, didn't bring everybody out. So it's just something to think about, because that's what happened to me. And I was taken aback. So yeah, so we got that one. This is going to be the biggest celery that I have. I mean, it's not celery, cabbage. So let's get rid of this big old stalk, so dirt won't be flying everywhere. Uh-oh. This one is tough, yeah. She like, nah, we ain't gonna even try that one because she is like too strong. This probably could have been a really big one had she had the space she needed. So yeah, so I'm definitely gonna be able to use a lot of these leaves off this big one. And I keep saying big, and this is why I say it's big. It's huge. So yeah, she is huge. Outer leaves we do not want. Let's get in the middle. And get some of these bigger ones. Yep, we want these. I can use these in my collards. It's pretty much the texture of collards, which means they can cook the same time, the same amount of time as your collards. But they're cabbage. And it's really good. Nobody can tell. And some people cook their greens like that, where they add cabbage to their greens, their regular greens. We ain't gonna use that one, y'all. And sometimes I will compost these leaves. I don't see any worms on them, so we might be okay. I probably could compost them, but I don't think I am because I think I got enough leafy greens in my compost stuff. I don't think I need any more leafy greens. I say that now, but I might get over there and change my mind. Dut. We don't want that one, y'all. So let me hurry up. So, got stuff to do, people to see, places to go. Oh yeah, y'all munched on that one real good. Yep. So I got a lot of cleaning up to do with these veggies. Now, what's today? Friday. My other hummingbird. I gotta do some of my hummingbird feeders. They are not going to it, y'all. What's up with that? They definitely come over here. One came literally up on me yesterday on the front porch. I was like, okay, I ain't got nothing. What you want? So yeah, I'm gonna use all these. Yeah, this one would have been pretty big. Look at that stuff. That would have been pretty big. So that's all trash. And here's the stuff I am gonna use right here. So we're gonna clean it up. Take it in the house. And some of you might be like, oh my God, that's too much hard work, blah, 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 blah. But I'm saying right now, yeah, it is hard work, but it's so rewarding. Especially when you sit down and eating your meal and you know you grew it. Be it from seed or a start from the nursery, it does not matter. The fact that you nurtured and did all the things that you were supposed to do to get it at that point is rewarding. So, hey, we might have to go back to this anyway, the way the world is going with grocery prices and stuff like that. You know, to know that I haven't bought hot sauce probably, what, 3 years? Maybe 4? I haven't bought hot sauce. I make soap and lotion. I haven't bought soap or lotion since the pandemic, 2020. I make soap. I make lotion. I make body butter. I even make body sprays. I still wear my little designer perfumes from time to time. But, yeah, you become more self-sufficient, which I like. You know, I taught my kids to be self-sufficient, you know, just as far as, you know, being able to take care of yourself, you know, getting a good job and benefits. And just being able to take care of yourself. So I believe in self-sufficiency. That's the best thing we could teach. One of the best things we could teach our children outside of keeping the word of God. Okay? Keeping the Lord's commandments. You know, if the whole world kept the Lord's commandments, it wouldn't be so jacked up. Those 10 commandments are still in place. They are still in place. They are not done away with. Because if that's the case, rob, stealing, and killing, and adultery, and all of that stuff wouldn't be such a big deal, would it now? So, commandments ain't going nowhere. Y'all better think about that. All right, I ain't on here preaching, but just made me think about, I guess, like just being able to harvest from your own yard and get food from your own yard. It just makes you really appreciate and think about things that, you know, I'm not saying everybody doesn't think about, but maybe we don't think about it enough. To be humble enough, to be grateful enough, to be kind, to know that you are blessed in some shape, form, or fashion. That, you know, it could always be worse. You know, some of you guys may have experiencing some things that it's hard for you to get past or get over. You know, give it to the Lord. Release it. Release it. Thank Him for what's going on with you right now, your breath of life. Thank Him for that. If you're not hungry, thank Him for that. If you're not thirsty, thank Him for that. If you got shelter, thank Him for that. If you got somebody that loves you, somebody that checks up on you outside of Him looking over you, thank Him for that. Okay? But if you really want Him to come into your life and show up and show out, keep those commandments. It's good to be have morals and integrity, but it's even better if you're obedient according to the word of God. That's even better. That's the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. That's the pickle with the peppermint. A lot of young people ain't gonna know what that means. But anyway, okay, I said I was gonna do that on camera, but I did. So I'm gonna come up close and show you guys. Look at that. More carrots, little tiny onions, and some beans. So I'm gonna shake this up like really good over the grass to release a lot of the dirt, and then I'm cleaning up the celery and the cabbage leaves. And I'm gonna be done for the day. I was gonna plant some seeds, but I changed my mind. So there's that. So anyway, I'm trying to chop up my videos a little bit more so they're not as long. Some people like long videos, some people don't. But anyway, we can't please everybody, but we're gonna do the best we can. Oh, my Julia Child's rose is growing. It's blooming again, and the bees are out. The watermelon is doing great. The cucumbers are coming in. Everybody's doing fantastical. Anyway, gotta go. It's early as always. I'm hot. I'm thirsty. I had my coffee already. So let me finish all these things up and get in here and get my day going. And let me show you guys my lilies right quick. They are absolutely beautiful. Let's walk up on these lilies, y'all. Hold on. Trying to unlock. Oh, you are unlocked already. Hold on. Okay. Show you guys these beautiful lilies that's recently opened. I usually get my bowls from Holland and Bowls. Look at that. Aren't those beautiful? That's a beautiful picture. I might have to take a picture of that. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, guys. Like I always say, be a blessing. No, be blessed, but also be a blessing. Bye.